Celtic shown yet again yesterday how big a distance there is between the support and the club itself, with the fact that there was no Celtic fan media invited to the press conferences at Lennoxtown yesterday. Some people are saying that the whole fan media process is currently under review by Celtic, so I mean, I myself am not involved in that side of things, so I don't lose anything personally. However, it would be such a huge loss if fan media were suddenly not invited to press conferences anymore. There is such a huge difference between traditional media and fan media and what their objectives are at these press conferences. Traditional media live and die by getting exclusives or headlines or anything that is going to be attention grabbing. When you see quotes taken out of context, when you see these headlines which are the only purpose of them is to drive traffic to their website. And that's not a criticism as such, that is just the way of the world these days. And that is why you see players and managers and they're just given these boring, cliched answers because they don't want any headlines. Whereas fan media has such a different objective. As a fan, they genuinely want to know more about specific tactics or formations or developments in players. And I think players and managers probably enjoy these questions and answering these questions a lot more and are willing to get into much more detail. There was a couple of times where I saw Brendan in press conferences replying to a question asked by fan media saying that's a really good question or that's a really interesting point. Now, I'm not saying this applies to every single question asked by fan media, but the answers that players or managers give to questions by fan media tend to be a lot more interesting from a fan perspective. And at the end of the day, when they are invited along to either Lennoxtown or Celtic Park for these press conferences, they are never going to ask anything really controversial because they know fine well that their access will just be revoked. So the fact that they are not being invited along now is really concerning and again just shows that the club are almost trying to control the narrative, and it's kind of like if you don't play along, if you don't agree with everything that we are saying, all these statements, if you don't stop causing trouble, then you won't have any access. And regardless of what happens in the future now, whether they're back at the next press conference or not, the fact that they weren't there to welcome our new manager is awful. And yet again, we are left to draw the conclusion that the club don't care about fans.